wait for official instructions. Wait my ass.
Crack mods and gaming.
That's my official instructions.
Alright, so now you want to go to Valve, to this URL, which is in the description. You want to download the SteamCMD file. So what you're going to do is you want to click on the Windows version. Linux is for later. And you want to click on the download link, and it's going to download a zip file that's going to go into our downloads. We want to open up into that folder, and we want to extract the SteamCMD file from there. So extract all, tell it extract. Alright, now usually what I do is I will cut this and then go into the directory where I'm going to put the server, and you see I just put it in my server. And I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call it SteamCMD, and then paste it in this folder. Then we're going to take our Left 4 Dead 2 update batch file that you see there, and we'll open it up and show you what it looks like. I'll put it in the description as well for you. And it has everything we need, install directory and all of that, including our app ID, for our game server. So we're going to take that batch file and we're going to put it in with our SteamCMD file, and we're going to run it from there so that it will install all of the SteamCMD files and all of our source dedicated server files for our game.
This used to be a nice neighborhood.
And now I present to you the magic of video editing. Our install will come to a conclusion, but in the meantime, I'm going to do some cleanup that I like to do. Run this server with a very small SSD, only 250 gig, so I like to keep any files I'm not using off the server, keep the recycle bin cleared out, that kind of stuff. And we're also going to make some icons on the desktop, excuse me. So we're going to go back to our downloads. We're going to get rid of all the junk that we downloaded because simply we don't need it. We're going to go in here into Left 4 Dead 2. We're going to send our source dedicated server exe file to the desktop as a shortcut. Once we do that, we're going to send our Left 4 Dead 2 updater to the desktop as well. And then we're going to create those icons. As you see, I got a thing for creating the icons for the servers. So I'm just going to call it, name this one Left 4 Dead 2 server, so I know what it is. And we're going to get rid of the Half-Life 2 icon and change it out for the Left 4 Dead 2. So, and it's as simple as browsing and going into that directory and applying it and telling it OK. We're going to do the same thing with our Left 4 Dead 2 updater. These, and as you'll see, you got 7 Days to Die, Left 4 Dead, and I'll just probably name this one Left 4 Dead 2 updater as well. Well, then we're going to change the icon, and it's going to, of course, tell us that it can't find what we're looking for, but all you got to do is browse, and it'll open up right where we were. I am going to change the name to this. I don't like that word wrapping around. I just don't like the look of it. I don't know. Call it an OCD. So let's get rid. So I'm just going to call it updater. I already have the icon there. I know what game it's to, so I'm just going to call it updater. And we're done. Now we're going to go on to port forwarding.
Looks like there's been a change of plans.
We're going to go to Advanced and then Advanced Setup, and under there you'll see Port Forwarding. We're going to add a custom rule. Now, your interface may be different. That's what everybody keeps telling you. We don't know how to do it because your interface is different. Alright, so that may be true. It'll always be under Advanced. It may not have an advanced setup, but it'll always be there. So all you have to do is look around for it. It'll be there. Now we're going to set up our Left 4 Dead 2 TCP ports, as soon as I can learn how to spell. TCP. Ugh. My brain is shot. And we're going to copy and paste in the ports that need to be in there, that are required for the game, or required for Steam actually. And we want to point it to our dead server, our internal IP. Now, your interface may make you put in the IP manually. And some interfaces make you put in the external IP address. One of the reasons you want to keep it on hand just in case. Now we're going to create another custom rule, or custom service, whatever. And we're going to put in our Left 4 Dead 2 UDP ports. And we're going to copy and paste in those ports. Now, this is a badly written rule, and let me tell you why. Because you'll see the last part of that rule is a 27,031 to 20,36. So it opens up the whole port range between 27,000 and 27,031. And then we're just going to identify 27,036 all by itself. Why don't we just create the range so it's simpler for us to do? And just create that range from 27,000 to 27,036. Because there's nothing else is going to use any of the ports in between. So as long as we've reserved them for ourselves or for this rule, no other rule will use them. So, point it towards our internal IP. And again, you may have to put in the IP manually, and some interfaces make you also put in the external IP address. So, in my firewall, so you have an understanding, I keep a set of ports, remote UDP, Steamworks P2P, and required ports. And you'll see that all of the ports for this game are already in those rules. So if you plan on running multiple games or want to have other games on here, it's best to just have those rules put in so you keep them there, because technically I could delete the 2 rules we just put in and everything will run just fine. And that's it for port forwarding. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to put it in the comments and I'll be happy to answer those concerns or questions.
Holy shit.
Hey,
Craic mods in gaming.
right?
So now you're going to go back to your dedicated server and you're going to start your server. So on here you have your UDP port, and if you've got it set up properly, there won't be any problem. Just make sure you've written all this stuff down like I mentioned. Internet or LAN, it doesn't matter which. It'll have the automatic map, but you can change that if you like. I'm going to rename it just so I know what it is. I don't know. OCD. You can leave it default. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's not overly relevant to the game. And you're going to start the server. And once the server starts, I'm going to go onto my gaming machine and I'm going to connect. And you'll see under the Players tab when I connect. It takes a second, and it should be coming up here in a second or two. So there, alright, so there's my connection from my IP address. It'll have my Steam ID in there as well. And you'll see the bots playing with you. I don't have anybody else on the server but me right now. And now we're going to go take a look at our gaming server, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to connect to this dedicated server. Okay, so back on your gaming machine, This URL is in the description. We want to create a shortcut on the desktop. Do not use the executable from the Steam directory, from the Left 4 Dead 2 directory. Make sure you paste in this shortcut. Simply name it whatever you like, Left 4 Dead 2 in any form, fashion that you like. Tell it finish. Go to Properties. And we want to browse that URL, of course, where our Steam game is. And pick the icon from that directory. So if you were paying attention, you would have seen what happened to our URL. So if you don't see, that's fine. We're going to double click it to connect to our server. And I want to show you what happens when it fails to connect for any reason. So it's connected to the server, and it just connected to the internet to rando lobbies, and that's not what we want. We want to connect. You'll see that it truncated. This is a Windows thing. I don't know why it does this. I always have to put it in twice, but once you put it in and it sticks, why it doesn't, I don't know. You should see this window every time you connect. Now we can tell it OK. Simply Steam making sure that that's the IP address and port you want to connect to, and it is, of course. It's going to run our game again, and then it's going to do its business on connecting to the internet. And we've connected to our dedicated server. If you don't get a lobby, then you've connected directly to the dedicated server. This is what's important. You give your friends that external IP address and the port number. Basically, give them the same shortcut I gave you. It'll load their game. It'll connect to your internal dedicated server. And you guys will be playing Left 4 Dead 2 and this is one of the best zombie shooter games on the planet. Love this game. Alright, I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day and happy gaming.